Okay, now we're gonna learn about how to find the domain and the range only from continuous graphs. Okay, let's see some examples. But before, we're gonna talk about the elements that we're gonna see on the continuous graph. When we have an open circle at the end, as you can see in this graph, for open circles, we're gonna call it exclusive. So that means we're gonna use only the signs less than or greater than. When we have a closed circle at the end, we're going to have it inclusive or included. For those circles, for closed circle, we're going to use the inequality sign less or equal than or greater or equal than. So we're going to use the equal to. Now, when we have this type of graphs where at the end we have an arrow, that means we're going to go even to positive infinity or negative infinity. It depends where the arrow is pointing. If the arrow is pointing up or right, we're going to go to positive infinity. If the arrow is pointing down or left, we're going to negative infinity. Let's see some examples and then you will see. At this graph, okay? So first start with the domain, okay? The domain, what is the farthest I can go to the left? -5. In this case, even though we don't have a close circle, it's on the line. So if it is on the line, we're gonna consider this as a inclusive. So it will be -5. And then to the right, we have an arrow, which means it's going to infinity. So it will be from -5 to infinity. That will be my domain. This is the explicit way to write it, but we're gonna simplify this. We're gonna drop or remove the infinity part. So it's gonna be -5 less or equal to x, and then we can write it with the variable first. That's the way that's the best practice to write it. So it will be x greater or equal to -5, and that will be my domain. Let's see the range. We had the same graph. Let's find the range, which is the y values. What is the farthest I can go to the low at the bottom? Is -4. What is the farthest I can go on the top? It will be -2. So my range will be from -4 to -2. Even though it's not close, it is on the line, so it will be inclusive. So it will be -4 less or equal to y less or equal to -2, and that will be your range. Let's see another example. This one. Let's talk about the domain. Domain on the left, it has an arrow, so it will be from -infinity, and then on the right, it will be also an arrow, will be positive infinity. So the domain will be from -infinity to positive infinity. We say we're going to rewrite it, removing the infinities, but then we're going to end up only with the x, which means all real numbers. So when we have from -infinity to positive infinity, the answer will be all real numbers. Now, let's look at the range. For the range, what is the lowest I can go? We have an arrow. So if we have an arrow, it means negative infinity because we're going down. And on the top, the farthest I can go is to 1. So it will be from -infinity to 1. It's included because it's passing through the line. It's inclusive. So we're going to drop or erase the infinity part. So my answer will be, my range will be y less or equal to 1. Let's go to the last example. We had this graph. Let's find the domain. For the domain, will be on the left side. What is the farthest I can go? -2, but we can see the open circle, so it's not included. Okay, and on the right we have an arrow, which means infinity, positive infinity. So it will be from -2, not included, only less than x, and then the infinity part. We say we're gonna drop or erase this part, so it will be -2 less than x, or we're gonna write it using the variable first, x greater than -2. That will be your domain. What about the range? What is the farthest you can go at the bottom? It will be -2. What is the farthest you can go on top? It will be infinity because we have an arrow. So it will be from -2 to infinity. It's not included because it's open circle. We drop the infinity part, -2 less than y. We write the variable first. So we're going to say y less than -2, and that will be your range. Okay, thank you.